What's up guys, this is FreshX Racing and today we'll talk about the first ever made tri-sump on a S58 on a racing car. Today we'll explain you why we decided to choose this platform over the proven 2JZ, which problems and issues we tackle and face while this development, and why we're the first in the world who do this solution. And before we'll start, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like and share this video because it will help us to make more videos related to the manufacturing the best drift car you've ever seen. And let's immediately get started. Nowadays, there is the undisputable king of the drifting, and of course, it is 2JZ engine. It is proven by decades, and of course, it's reliable, it's tunable, and it's ready-to-use solution. But we're using for our Nissan Z platform BMW S58. Why? Because we like challenges. But to be more serious, we want to stay ahead of the time and prove S58 is not just a new engine, but it's the good platform for solutions and for engineering stuff. So let's have a quick look on it. 2JZ is quite old platform and it has iron cast block. At the same time, S58 has the aluminum one. We weighed these two engines and it turns out that without fuel pump, accessories and injectors, S58 is 113 kilogram, and at the same time 2JZ is much heavier, it's 144. And the third one, despite of the 3 liters for both of engines, 2JZ is the distributed injection, and for S58 it's the direct. That's the way better. What's connected to the major parameters like specific torque and power for these two engines that is crucial for drifting. S58 has 550 horsepower and 650 Newton moment. At the same time, 2JZ has only 330 horsepower and 427 of Newton moment. And if they have 3-liter both, so 2JZ delivers only 110 horsepower per liter, and at the same time S58 delivers 183. And for the Newton moment, 2JZ is only 147 and S58 is 216. That's way better. So at the end of the day, S58 is newer and it has much potential for the parameters and for the engineering solution, but we're now just lack of this engineering solution, and this gap we want to fill. Back in the days, S58 is just the new generation of BMW 6-cylinder engines like B58. And at the same time, it's much more improved version of S55, which has a problem with the bearings, with the cooling system and durability. So in S58, all of this problem was tackled and outcome, and now it's the progressive version of S58, B58, and of course the outdated 2JZ. Let's look at the figures. The 2JZ engine has the side-mounted intake for high boost application and air-to-air intercooler. At the same time, S55 uses twin turbo with a dual intake duct, so it's water-to-air intercooler, and S58 features the new air intake duct designed for indirect change air cooling, so it's water-to-air system, the new one. 2JZ has the gear-driven mechanical oil pump that can starve under the high G-forces. S55 uses the electronically controlled and dual-stage oil pump, while S58 has the electronically controlled oil pump with an additional oil pump lid and oil return pump. About S55, it has the lightweight cylinder head and it optimized for turbocharger. And S58 has the cylinder head designed and accommodate 2 high-pressure pumps and uses the 3D process for its core. That is so important and so new. So, about crankcases. 2JZ has the cast iron enclosed deck one, S55 has the aluminum one but the closed deck too, and S58 has also aluminum closed deck, but it has the oil duct for switchable piston cooling. By the way, about pistons, in 2JZ we have the uncoated cast aluminum ones, in S55 we have coated forged aluminum pistons and uncoated grease pins, And in S58, we have the quad forged aluminum pieces and their reinforced connecting rods to handle high turbo boost with the diamond-like carbon coating. One of the last but not the least. About bore size, 2JZ has 86mm and both S55 and S58 has 84mm. Last point is the compression ratio. 2JZ has 8.5 to 1, S55 has 10.2 to 1, and S58 has 9.3 to 1. So, despite of the novelty of S58 is being used by the amounts of drifters of the top professional drift championship like Mika, Red Bull Drift Brothers, and Adam Zalewski. And as we said before, there is really not so much engineering solution for this exact engine, but we're taking the challenge to make it more professional and in the proper way. And by the way, while we're discussing these engines, what is your personal preferences for the engine? Proven an old one or the new one that will be potentially good for the future? Write your opinion in comments and let's discuss it. The first issue we encountered and faced with was the oil pan and the oil system. It is okay for heavy loads and it's okay for drifting even with such pressure, but it's conflict with the non-BMW chassis. And since we're using Nissan Z chassis, the oil pan is too bulky and the oil system just doesn't simply fit into the place that it could be. The first decision we made is to change the steering rack and the subframe in 3D, but it makes things even worse. In this case, we didn't want to change the structural elements and the suspension, but we risked to change the rigidity and the stiffness of the car, but we didn't want it. So ultimately, we got the only one solution to make the oil pan with the dry sump instead of wet. And the moment of truth. This is S58 dry sump made by ourselves from the scratch. It has three main benefits. The first one, it fits the settings of the factory and don't interfere the suspension. So now it fits all the parameters that we want from it. The second one, it is now sits a bit lower and it helps with the weight distribution of this car. And the third advantage is more structural. Now we prevent the leaking of the oil and the starvation of the oil. Long story short, when your car is going from one transition to another, of course, in your oil pan, you have the oil moving from corner to corner. And now we prevented this oil starvation when you can get the air instead of oil. How it will be tested and how it shows yourself the dry sump in a test, we'll see a bit later. If you'll point attention on the turbo, initially it was too small turbo, but we decided to change to the big one. And in other words, we just changed it to the twin turbo to the single turbo for this engine S58. And this way we gain two advantages. The first one, it's the simplified engine layouts or overall design. And the second one is the simplification of the maintenance and refinement and repair of the exhaust components. It is well known that in stock this engine can handle more than 1000 horsepower, but for us it's just a matter of the individual approach, individual parameters that it will be suitable for us with the good output, whether it would be 800, 1000 or 1200, whatever. By the way, for you, what is the best and optimal figure of the horsepower in the pro car, in the pro spec for the professional drift championship? Write in comments and let's discuss it too. Since we're done with the dry sump, the next step is to make the wiring and electronic for this car. And we'll make it from the scratch because we have too many custom components. For instance, we're making the cord system of the wiring, and from a technical standpoint, it will be implemented and it will be provided by Motec PDM 15 and M142, and the second one from Motec PDM 2. As well, we have the second one the same. So we'll be working with the direct injection and moment-based engine problem. So it's gonna be incredible. Hope now it's more transparent to you why really did we choose S58 over 2JZ, how did we do the dry sump, and how did we gain the parameters that we needed from this engine. So that's all folks for today. Don't forget to be subscribed and like and share this video with your petrol head friends, and we'll see you in the next videos about body kit, prosy and so on. Bye bye.